social anxiety and build a positive lifestyle. So, how do you improve your social skills? Never run out of things to say and get out of your own head. Remove those blockages. Listening is the answer. You have to overcome the fears of being trapped in that awkward moment where you don't know what to say. The fear of truly improvising. So what a lot of people do in social groups is they get stuck in their head. They're thinking, how do I look in this moment right now? How do I come across? And because of this, they're not actually present in the moment, listening to other people. And because the voices of fear can be so loud, they can consume so much of your mental RAM that you barely have any available RAM left over to actually follow along and flow with the conversation. When you can learn to remove these little blockages bit by bit, these different fears, you find yourself truly listening to other people, giving yourself the time to process what they're telling you, and then responding from a place of inspiration. And the conversation just flows naturally and it goes the way that it's supposed to go. I'm going to give you an analogy that my improv comedy teacher taught to me. So if there's two improvisers and they're doing a scene together on stage, the audience might suggest a topic for this scene, and your job as an improviser is to come on and bring your one idea to the table, your one brick. And then the other improviser, they bring their idea to the table, their brick. Then you bring another brick, they bring another brick, and you keep on going brick by brick, step by step, until you build a cathedral. But you never have to think more than one step ahead at any point in time. The scene just goes the way it's meant to go. No one's driving it. You're not driving the scene. The other person's not driving it. It's just evolving naturally. And that's how conversations are meant to be. Conversations between two humans, they're supposed to look like that. You're not some AI chatbot. You're a real person with emotions. And when you learn to listen to other people, not be trapped in your own head, not be trapped in the ego, you give yourself time to genuinely process that information, and then you respond. You let your message land and give them time to respond back. It's like the amount of space that you both have in the interaction is just perfect for it to flow in a much more authentic way. So listening is absolutely the key. And listening is my superpower, my secret weapon when it comes to coaching. Something I was thinking, it might have been early today actually, how come I find in-person coaching so much easier than social media? And I realized that it's because I'm not listening to another person on social media. But in the moment when I'm coaching people, I'm listening to every single word the other person's saying. I'm taking in all the information. And things which help me as a coach, the listening-based tools. Something which my mentor taught me, which he always says, Learn to remove your own ego and fears so you can help this person out from a place of honesty. It's powerful. I was chatting to a guy yesterday that's looking to build more confidence in social situations. And he said that a big problem he has is comparing himself to other people in the group. He doesn't do this after the event, he does it during the event as well. And because he's thinking, man, this guy here, he's so much louder than me. How come I can't speak like that? This other person, they're so witty, they're so clever. This person there, they have so much knowledge. And because he's doing this, comparing himself to other people, he's actually trapping himself in his own head. And because of that, he's not keeping pace. He's not keeping up with the conversation. And he finds it hard to join in because he's not been listening. It takes a lot of bravery and courage to truly listen, because it's comforting to think what to say next. Even me as a coach, when I'm making a video like this live stream now, of course there's a temptation for me to search my brain and start thinking, what should I say next? Because it's comforting to have a line, to have a script, to know what you're saying. But the problem with this is that you stop being a true human and the interaction doesn't flow the way it's supposed to flow. You have to face your fear of doing less. Not overthinking, genuinely being in the moment and trusting that whatever comes to mind is enough. Express yourself. Your uniqueness is another person's genius. I'll explain what I mean by this. So again, I learned this from improv comedy. A lot of people compare themselves to others and they think, how come this person made this amazing contribution to the scene? I would have never thought of that. I would have never thought of what Tracy did. That was so clever. That was genius. The way that Ben just came on that stage and delivered his uniqueness, that was so clever. I can't compete with that. But the truth is that your uniqueness, what's normal to you, is viewed as genius by other people because you think differently. There's only one you. You are truly unique, and the way you think is unique, and your contribution is therefore something that other people wouldn't naturally think of. So trust that your normal is someone else's genius. So when you're actually in a social situation and you find yourself judging, self-judging, criticizing, and comparing yourself to other people, remember that they're also self-judging and they're also comparing themselves to you. They're thinking, how come this person can carry themselves the way that they're doing? We're all wired differently, and there's nothing wrong with this. Learning to truly listen is so much better for networking, socializing, building relationships, because I'm sure you can appreciate how frustrating it would be to be on the receiving end of somebody not listening to you. Imagine you were speaking to somebody that had a prejudice against you, a totally unfair prejudice, and you could just feel that ego judgment being placed on you. They're not listening to you. They're putting you in a box, in a category, and treating you based on how they treat everybody in that category. You probably would not form a good connection with this person or want to stay in touch because you're not being listened to. People love being genuinely listened to, and feeling genuinely understood. And by being a good listener, you can do that for other people. But it doesn't just benefit them, it also benefits you because it keeps you in the present moment. The quickest way to get present is to use your senses. Notice what you can see, what you can smell. Although I actually have zero sense of smell, it's a quirk with me. Notice what you can hear. This is how you get out of your head, and listening is the best way to do that in a social situation. And you'll feel the fear clicking come into place and try to sweep you away from the present moment. Just like if you meditate and thoughts come up, trying to take you away from the present moment, fear will do the exact same thing. But here's what happens when you stop listening and you start thinking what to say next. So I'm going to start thinking what to say next now, and notice what happens to my eyes. They look up and over. So when you think what to say next, you immediately break eye contact with people in the group. So you're not actually receiving information. You've blocked off your ability to listen and receive all information, which makes you freeze up. So in improv comedy, the best thing you can do to never run out of things to say is be present and truly listen. Something which I've been learning over this past year and I'm still working on, which fits with this, is facing my fear of doing less. It's tempting to always want to do more, to always want to say more. But sometimes it's confusing, and facing your fear of doing less is actually more impactful. It's better to listen and say things which are relevant and just they hit the bullseye, they're on point, than just throw out loads of random information which is irrelevant and not related to the conversation that's going on right now. So truly listening allows you to focus on providing quality value rather than quantity. I've been learning how to be productive without burning out. So I built this coaching business, helping others overcome social anxiety at the same time as doing a full-time PhD. And during that transition, I did have some mental health challenges. I did burn out on several occasions. And what that taught me is how to better manage myself so that I'm in a flow state and don't burn out. The key was to listen to my own body. When you stop listening to your own body and you're just in go mode all the time, 100 miles an hour, that's when you burn out and you lose touch with that flow state. So as well as listening to other people, listening to your own body, that changes your life. This is what I do with social media. I don't set myself tasks such as let's make 4 videos this week, because that's putting pressure on myself and forcing myself to do things. Instead, I make videos when I feel inspired to make videos. I listen to my body and I do my best to remain in harmony with this. And this allows me to talk for hours and hours and hours and get things done without draining myself and without burning out. And to bring back something I mentioned earlier, comparing yourself to other people in a social group is so draining. Anything relating to self-judgment is massively taxing, and it really tires you out. So when you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up for making a mistake, because beating yourself up is draining in itself. Instead, reward yourself when you're doing well and forgive yourself when you make mistakes. A lot less draining to let go of self-judgment. This is something that I have to constantly work on myself as well. I used to be someone that was very, very, very critical, and I would judge myself all the time. And actually, I used to be scared of going into social situations because I was scared of judging myself after the event. So letting go of self-judgment is huge for not being so drained. So is being yourself. Honesty. There's nothing more draining than having to wear a mask 24/7. Wearing a mask is constant effort and is so draining. It's freeing to actually be yourself. And that's the beauty of being someone that's a good listener. You're literally allowing yourself to be yourself because you're putting zero pressure on yourself. You're listening, you're in the moment. And because of this, people actually trust you. You've not had time to go away and plot a perfect response, a perfect answer. You're in the moment being yourself. So other people get a chance to assess your character and see the kind of person that you actually are. So listening helps you to be more honest and remain present in the moment, be relevant when you're joining in conversations. And it also helps you to be more honest. And honesty is the key buzzword when it comes to beating social anxiety. So I'm a guy that taught himself social skills from scratch from the age of 18 onwards. So until that point, I had crippling levels of social anxiety, zero friends in high school and college, and I was the most extremely quiet person you could possibly imagine. I would just freeze up and feel like I was going to faint in social situations. That's how extreme I was in terms of being quiet and socially anxious. I would completely isolate myself from all people. My parents, they have social anxiety as well, and I picked up these behaviors and habits and had to break out of them. When I focused on being honest, opening up, being myself, and putting myself into social situations and just being super honest, it just started to chip away at that ice that, that people say the refrigerator humming in your chest and stomach, that tension. It helped me to chip away at that and get more confident, eventually to the stage where I decided to also build a business based on honesty and to coach people based on honesty as well. So honesty is the key to overcoming social anxiety, and listening is super important. I remember someone saying that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, double the amount of listening ability compared to speaking, but we often neglect listening and just focus on our own ideas. And coming in with your own ideas, your own agenda, it really does mess things up. So when I'm coaching somebody, I focus on genuinely listening. So I don't go into the session with my own ideas and my own ego, my own prejudice, my own plan. I want to help out this person who's in front of me right now. For example, a guy that I coached last Saturday, he's looking to change his job. So part of me had a plan for the session of how I could help him face his fear of changing his job, get the motivation right, and take some action. But then when the session started, he was telling me about challenges that he's been having with his parents. He went to visit them. He goes to visit them on a weekly basis. And the pattern is that he overstays, then feels drained afterwards. And because I truly listened to him, that was the focus of the session. What this guy was asking me was, I want help at improving my relationship with my parents. That's what he was really asking me. And if I'd just come in with my own ideas and focused on the career stuff, I would have missed that and wouldn't have been able to help him out by sharing experiences that I've been through, teaching him how to implement time boundaries with people and to focus on things that he can control, things that he can't. So if I'd come in with my own agenda and not truly listened, the session would have been way less powerful and not relevant. The challenge he was facing right now, that was the most relevant thing to deal with rather than a bigger picture focus. Let's focus on the challenges right now. So listening allows me to provide a lot more value as a coach. And something which I've got better at is learning how different fears of mine get in my own way and stop me from listening, and how to get beyond these fears. So one fear that I used to have when I started coaching was letting somebody down. I was scared of failing a client that's paid me for my coaching. I was like, wow, this is scary. There's people, they're paying me money. Sometimes it could be £1,000 to do some coaching. And what if I fail this person and I don't help them out? I had to overcome my fear of failing a client to get better at coaching. This doesn't mean that I've gone out there and purposely failed clients. But what I'm saying is I remove my fear of failing a client so that that fear doesn't get in the way of me helping that person out. That made me a better coach. So removing my own ego and my own fears is huge. 90% of the problems that you face in social situations are because you're in your own way. There's blockages, there's things that are stopping you from being yourself. So by slowing down, learning to truly listen, and to trust that what you want to say is enough. This is how you can learn to have authentic, flowing conversations, to remove those blockages, and to really build that self-confidence. Opening up is the key to building the confidence. And it requires a strong, brave person to truly listen and not think ahead in the conversation. And when you do this, it also makes you speak slower, and you're delivering one message at a time, so you come across a lot clearer. And you might think, what if you have a goal in mind? For example, maybe you want to get a sale through. Maybe you want a date. You have a particular agenda or goal in mind. Talk to people for who they are. Don't talk to the image. Talk to the human. And if you're truly passionate about your life, your business, your career, your romantic life, whatever it is, these things will automatically come up. I'll give you an example. So I went to a networking event on Thursday evening. I didn't go in there thinking I wanted to get some clients, to find some people I can collaborate with. I went in there focused on listening to people, having conversations, enjoying myself, providing value. And I got chatting to this girl that's a psychotherapist looking to build her own private practice. Had a great conversation, and there's lots of things we have in common in terms of areas where we help each other out. And through that conversation, it became clear that we're both looking to build our social media, and interview series would be super helpful to do that. So we go into collaborate and do some cross-promotional interviews discussing different topics that are important for mental health, anxiety, etc. That just evolved naturally. I had no agenda, no deliberate intentions. I didn't drive the conversation that way. She didn't drive it that way. We were just being ourselves and we were open, and that was the way it was supposed to go. There's other people at the networking event that I had a good chat with, but we're not going to collaborate. And that's fine as well. It's allowing what's meant to be to be. So don't go in somewhere with a one-track mind and try to force an outcome. That's a massive mistake. At a networking event, if somebody just wants to sell to me and they just have that end point in mind, I find it so boring and it's so off-putting that I have no interest in getting to know that person. But if they have a genuine conversation with me and they ask me what I do and mention what they do, then I'm interested. I'm listening. So don't come in there and bulldoze and take over. You don't need to do that. You don't need to deliberately try and drive a conversation to steer it towards a certain forced outcome. You can just be yourself, have a nice chat, and allow things to go where they're meant to go. And if you're not afraid of things going that way, they quite often actually go that way that you want them to go. You find the collaborations, you find the dates, but you're not going out there solely focused on what you can get. You're focused on what you can give. And how can you give when you don't know what other people are looking to receive? If you're not listening to other people, you're not truly giving. You're just saying stuff like an AI chatbot. You're just saying stuff. You're not really in tune. It's completely uncalibrated. It's not in harmony with other people. But if you're truly listening and you're saying what's unique to you, you'll be providing so much value, so much uniqueness coming from you that firstly, you're going to feel good because it feels good to truly express yourself. You're going to have flowing conversations, form better connections, and those outcomes that you're hoping for, you're going to have the confidence to achieve those outcomes without even trying. So actually, facing your fear of doing less and not really trying is powerful. And that's what I'm doing more of this year on the social media. Making videos when I feel inspired to make videos. And the reason I do this is because I want you to get in touch with your inspiration. For you to listen to your own body and do things when they feel right. When it feels right to do them. Of course, there's huge value in having a routine, I've got a routine. Actually, I've got my routine written on a whiteboard in my room. So I do have a routine, but I also listen to my body. So if I've been training 5 or 6 days in a row, I'm going to say, do you know what? My body's feeling tired. I'm going to skip the gym today, because your body's telling you it's the right thing to do. And when you're truly listening to your body, you're truly giving to yourself, you have so much more to give to other people because you're in a better place. So learning to listen to yourself is a really, really important skill set. And this allows you to live a lot of life, not all of it, but a lot of it in a flow state. I've been growing in confidence for a long time now. And when I'm in this flow state, life is just so much better. And I'm not lying and saying that I'm always in a flow state. Of course, I have times where I feel terrible, where I feel really rough, I feel lethargic, I feel sad, I feel lonely, I feel all these things. But a lot of the time, I am in the flow state. I am feeling really, really, really good. That's why you can tell that I'm in the right job, because I'm able to be in a flow state, to smile, to enjoy myself. And this is because I'm listening to my own body and I'm following my purpose in life. That's honesty. I'm doing me. And I want other people to be inspired and get in touch with their uniqueness, follow their purpose. It helps you grow so much. So listening is the key to breaking out of your own head, providing value in conversations, having them flow the way they're meant to flow. When you listen to your own body and start to act in accordance with it, you can get yourself into a really cool flow state, and you can live quite a bit of life in this flow state with practice, take action, make progress, but not burn out. So yeah, I hope that you got value from this video. If you have a question, feel free to ask me. I love having people in mind when I'm making a video, really feeling that I'm helping a particular person out. That helps me to make the video. So ask me any questions you have. I'm here to help people out. And if you're potentially interested in trying my free 2-hour coaching session, where I help you reduce social anxiety, get more confident, and get motivated to build a positive lifestyle, there's no catch whatsoever. Drop me an email and I'll be in touch. We can schedule the session. It can either be online or over coffee in Birmingham. I'll mentor you and help you crack these fears and get more confident in your life. I'm going to sign off now. Have a fantastic rest of your day.